Today I'm going to show you how to make paper pumpkins, gourds, acorns that you can use as decorations or for your table for Halloween or for Thanksgiving. And I have a variety of different ones that I have done, so you can kind of pick and choose what you like. I have done some that are just plain that I outlined. I've done another one that I've done with some paint, and I've done one in a pattern paper instead of plain. And then I also have, which these are my absolute favorite, are these little acorns, which I think are adorable. I have used these in the past to decorate my table for Thanksgiving. I've also used this style for a place card. So putting this onto their table with their name written on the leaf, and that works really cute. So basically, to get started, all you need is some stencils, which I've pulled off shapes on the computer online. And so I've printed out my stencils, and then I used just cardboard to make them into a traceable pattern, because you're going to make, for each pumpkin or gourd that you do, you're going to need 8 of these. So it's handy to have them on a piece of sturdy cardboard. I picked up, for the gourds that you've seen, I picked up 2 packs of paper from Michael's. These were, I think, like $4.70 each. I picked up the gold for the acorns, and then I picked up a really nice pack of brown, orange, green, yellow, and red, and the brown I used for the acorns. So these 2 packs worked out really well if you want to try out all that I'm showing you today. Then the other thing that I had left over from last year was pattern paper, and I've made my pumpkins out of that before, where I've done a solid, a polka dot, and a stripe in orange colors. The one thing to note, these are just paper. They're not the cardstock, but you'll notice that they stand up just as well as the cardstock does. So if you find a pattern paper that you'd like to make your pumpkins out of, it doesn't have to be cardstock. I find that these work just as well. The key is having 8 pieces of paper. I've done this before with 6, and they don't stand up very well. But 8 makes them very sturdy, and they're able to stand up really well. So basically, to get started, I first take my cardboard and my printout. So for this one, I'm going to make a squash. And I basically just cut the paper out just to get it down almost to the pattern. And then the other materials you're going to need is a glue stick, some tacky glue, but mostly for this you're just going to use the glue stick. The tacky glue you may use if you want to add a stem. If you're going to trace, you'll need a black marker for tracing. If you're going to paint, you'll need a paintbrush, a cup, and some craft paint, and then a pen or a pencil for tracing. So basically, I'm going to take my glue stick, and I'm just going to glue the piece of paper to the cardboard, and that's how you're going to make your tracer. So you just want to stick it down. And I save cardboard anytime I get something in the mail, or where it has a slip of cardboard. I always save it, and I have a whole pile of cardboard that I use. I like to cut it out right on the cardboard instead of cutting out your pattern first and then gluing it to the cardboard. I just find that it makes for a better cut, more even tracer than if you cut this out first and then cut out your cardboard. So I just cut them both out at the same time. So now once you have your tracer cut out, and you'll notice that a lot of these patterns have a flat bottom, which also makes them easier to stand up. But you don't necessarily, depending on the shape, this one is not flat on the bottom, and it still stands up really well. So it really just depends on what you pull off online. So basically what you want to do is trace your pattern onto paper. and you don't want to move it, that's not good. You want to trace out 8 of the exact same thing. So once you have them all cut out, I try to keep them all in the same direction, because with cardstock you could use either side. But I find if there's any variation between the left and the right side of your pattern, it'll go together better if you keep them all on the same side. So notice that all mine are showing the pen mark side. So that way I kept it that way. Now when I fold it, I'm gonna fold it in half, and I'm gonna fold it so that the pen mark is on the outside, because when you glue these together, you're gonna glue on this side, and then that way you're not showing any of your pen. It'll be on the inside of the gourd. So you basically wanna fold each of these in half. And if you have one of those plastic, folders, you can use it, but I just use my nail and run it along and fold them all. I forgot to mention, if you were going to trace your gourd, now would be the time to do it before you glue them together. So before you fold them, if you want to outline and trace them so that they look like this one, you would want to do the tracing now. So I'm not going to trace this one. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it together. So basically, once you have them all folded in half, you're just going to take a glue stick and you're going to just run your glue stick over the half and then put the other half up against it. And you just want to make sure you're lining it up so that it's even. This one's not quite even, so I'll just tear it off and put it back on there so that it's nice and even. And then just continue to do this. I glue 4 together, and then I glue the other 4 together, and then I put them together. So right now I have 2 sides, 2 of 4 each, and now I'm going to glue them together. So you just take the one and just glue it just like the rest. Now, if you're going to add a leaf, now's the time to add the leaf. You just want to glue it onto the side and then glue that together, and then that would be your leaf. But for what I'm doing, I'm not going to glue it. I'm just going to glue my gourd together. So the other thing you can do, if you want, you can leave it just like this, or what I did was I went out in the yard and collected a few little branches, and then at the top you have a little tiny hole. So I just get branches that are small enough that I can just stick a twig into them, and then that also makes for a cute decoration. Now I really love how the acorns turned out. I think it's my favorite one out of all of them. Couple things that are different about the acorn is you're going to have 2 tracers. You're going to have the whole acorn and then the top. So when you do your acorn print out 2, cut one completely out, and then the other one you just need to cut out the top and just cut a straight line across to get your second tracer. So the full one will be for your gold paper, and then the little cap is going to be for your brown paper. So you'll end up with a gold piece and a brown piece. So once you have them cut out, you're going to glue the cap onto the gold so that it looks like this. And then once you have all 8 pieces cut and your caps glued on, then you're going to follow the same instructions that you did for the gourd, which is you're going to fold it in half and try to get that tip right in half, because that's your point. And then once you have 8 of them folded together, you're going to glue them together and it'll come out looking like this. The only caution I have working with the gold paper is be careful with your fingers and the glue, because if you get any glue on the gold, it will discolor the paper. But other than that, they're pretty easy to make. So that is all of our acorns and gourds. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. If it's your first time watching, welcome, and please don't forget to subscribe. If you want to receive future notification of posts, hit the bell. And if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. It lets us know what you're liking. And thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.